All right, welcome back. We're with Congressman Jeff Landry. We're talking about a lot of topics. Before we move from oil and gas, though, does it scare you as a congressman seeing that, I'm not saying it's gloom or doom in the oil business or gas industry around here, but some of them are going north because there's a lot of expectations and exploration in North Dakota and other areas. Does that scare you to see that?
It does. Look, I'm certainly glad for the Dakotas and Montana. I will continue to say this, that, Louisiana's most valuable natural resource is not what lies beneath our grounds, our oceans, or not what swims in our ocean that we catch. It's the men and women who ply those trades. And I would hate to see us lose all that talent, being forced out of this great state simply because we have an administration who will not allow us to drill at the pace we need to in the Gulf of Mexico.
All right. Let's go to Obamacare. You co-sponsored, I think, a bill to repeal Obamacare. Matter of fact, I think the 11th Circuit had a case that might have helped your cause just a tad.
Yes, I think one of the biggest, what I think is one of the biggest sins about Obamacare, and it's important that seniors out there understand this. Under Obamacare, Medicare as you knew it is gone. They took $500 billion out of Medicare. The Democrats spun this thing in saying that under our Ryan budget, we were destroying Medicare and Social Security. Completely not true. Obamacare did more. In fact, in the budget we passed, we put that $500 billion back in play. Mm-hmm. But what will happen is that if it gets implemented, seniors who are under Medicare will stand in the back of the line to those who are under Medicaid. Mm-hmm. And that's unfortunate because those Medicare recipients paid into that system, Martin, and it's un-American to do that.
Now, I know that he had the votes to pass it back then, but let me ask you, do you think the Democratic spin doctors are spinning a little better than the Republicans at the time, or do you think he just has the votes to make it happen?
No, look, I think Democrats are certainly always better at messaging. Republicans are better at policy. It just has been that way. I don't know why. I continue to try to, go out there and message the right message. I can tell you that they have spread a lot of they're good at staying on it, taking a lie and just staying on it till they try to make it the truth. I mean, look, the president on his bus tour the other day, when the guy asked him if his vice president called Tea Party congressman terrorist, he denied it. It happened. It was true. He was lying to the man. But they will continue. I didn't say that, but he did. And that's what they do. They take misinformation and they will continue to hammer it until you start to believe it.
Let me ask you on a personal note, when you hear something, and I heard it too, I was watching all of it, but I heard Biden say that too, and they say it didn't happen. Does that drive you crazy?
Oh, it drives me insane. It doesn't bother me. Look, I'll tell you, like I told a reporter from the Daily Caller, a national magazine, when he asked me, what I thought about being called a terrorist, I said, look, let's look at it this way. In my lifetime, I've created jobs. I've paid taxes in the private sector. I've helped move the economy forward. I said, we've got over 9% unemployment under them. We've got record deficits, and they just signed the largest increase of debt in the United States history. Now, who's terrorizing the country?
Right, yeah. Let me ask you, because you're on the ground over there. You see things. We just sit here and report things. So you get to Washington, and you start seeing the nuts and bolts of the whole operation. Shocking to you, or are you starting to maybe get the grasp that Washington is a grand illusion, so to speak?
Well, it's certainly disheartening to see how complicated our government has become when there's no need for it to be that way. It'll drive you crazy. It's why I like to get back home as often as possible.
Yeah. Let's talk about something we were laughing about before the show. I told you I would ask you about it, and caused a lot of publicity, but you finally got it done, and that's the barge.
The barge. Yeah, our barge in St. Mary. This is a prime example of why people in this state and around the country should be so furious at the federal government. I had in a hearing the three-star General Van Antwerp of the Corps of Engineers tell me that it would cost $5 million for that barge to be removed. And after both Senator Vitta and I worked for months to try to get the Corps to do what it was supposed to do, to use the law that is currently in place to remove it, we pivoted and we went over to the bankruptcy court, and I worked with the trustee, and our district staff here is a great staff. I'll put a shout out to them as well. Bill Stiles worked with them. He's an attorney. And the bankruptcy trustee started to see the provisions in the law that we were talking about, and he utilized them. And next thing you know, not only did it not cost the taxpayers $5 million, but that contractor paid the bankruptcy court $160,000. So think about that. If the Corps would have listened to us, we could have added $160,000 to help pay off the debt rather than another $5 million. But in the old days, it'd have been an earmark. We'd have had $5 million, and the taxpayers would have had to pay for something that they should have gotten a return off of.
But in fairness, I think we both agree, they did do a good job on the river ring flooding and giving us the permits, but we can't judge them on a lifetime just for that. But
Look,
they did do a good job.
They did, Martin. And I was the first person to pat General Walsh and Colonel Fleming on the back. I admit, I don't mind patting someone on the back as quick as I can kick them in the rear when they're doing wrong. And they do. They get kudos for the way they developed the flood fight plan and the permitting of the barge over in Bayou in neck break speed. But you know what? It only shows you that it can be done. Right. It only adds to your frustration that we don't need any more studies. We need projects to be brought to fruition.
Yeah, you're right. The one thing people asked me when they put that barge up was, hell, how can they do that quick and on this situation, but it takes 5 or 6 years to do it on something else. So that is a good point. All right, what we're going to do, let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to have a little fun. They got all these Republicans and Tea Party people want to be the president. We're going to find out your opinion on it, and then we'll talk about the Obama bus tour. I want to get your opinion on that. It's all coming up. Don't go away.